Hey guys, welcome back. So as always, as in the past 3 episodes, we got Paul on the right. I'm Sean, Trevor,
Hello.
and the Doge.
The Doge.
The Doge. Woo, woo. So we're gonna kick it off. I think. Well, obviously, our first category is the storyteller. Why don't we kick it off with you, Trev, and you can tell us your choice for best story or writing.
My honorable mention goes to GTA 5. Now, I know the story. We're not getting anything new here. This is beyond that. I mean, we on previous gen consoles, we already played the story. So with the new current gen GTA, we got a fresh coat of paint. We got the increased resolution, technical upgrades, first-person perspective. But it felt so great to go back and play it all over again. And it's such a fantastic story. I loved it. But my number one storyteller of the year has to go to Witcher 3. I just thought it was such a fantastic story. And you really didn't need to play any of the previous Witcher games to know what was going on. It was just such a great ride from beginning to end. Really not much more to say other than Witcher 3 I thought was the best game in storytelling this year.
Well, we missed actually though was the nominees. So you already touched on
yes,
one of which is The Witcher 3.
Witcher 3, which makes and GTA. We got some unique choices on here though, so I'm going to quickly run through the rest of the nominees before we move on. Until Dawn, Life is Strange is popping up again. Tales from the Borderlands, Her Story, MGS5, Not a Hero, and I love this, Hateful Boyfriend. The world's best, if not only, pigeon dating sim. And with that segue, we're going to hand it over to the gentleman who reviewed Hateful Boyfriend, Mr. Paul Sullivan.
Yeah, that's me.
You sound less than impressed.
I put that on here more as a joke than anything. I mean, it's well written, but in the end, it is a game about a human wanting to date pigeons.
Well,
no offense to our furry friends.
Hold on.
When you sit at the table,
when you say it that way, it sounds dumb.
Okay, wait. Okay, I'm obviously in the dark here because I assumed it was pigeons looking for other pigeons, like some pigeon on pigeon action.
No, you play as a human.
Oh,
that is some twisted shit.
Yeah, well, you want to date that dove? Oh, you're gonna do that.
Wow.
Jeez.
So,
okay. But it is well written.
You're looking to ruffle some feathers, so to speak.
Oh, they have puns.
Did I? But
they have puns in the game. Things like every birdie. Do you get it? It's like everybody. So, anyways, I also put Not a Hero on this list. I don't know if any of you guys have played this, but it's a game in which you're helping our Lord and Savior, Mayor Bunny Lord, get elected.
Oh, that one, the Mayor Bunny Lord game. For a second there, I'm like, holy moly, are we going off on a Christ tangent?
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
One of those,
buckle up.
One of those bogus religious games that's put out to try to like get kids to get into religion.
To convert.
Yeah.
Yeah, Not a Hero. It's a funny game. The writing is really funny. But as far as the best storytelling, I'm going to echo Trev a bit with my honorable mention, being The Witcher 3. I thought it did a fantastic job of weaving the side missions and side stories into the overall arc of the game. I can't recall a game where the side stories felt so integrated. Usually it's kind of, hey, I need 10 rutabagas. Can you go get them? And, of course, you got to go fetch the rutabagas in this game, but the story weaves nicely into the overall witch hunt of The Witcher 3.
You don't feel like you're just going to get rutabagas.
There's more than rutabagas.
There's just more.
No, you're always uncovering the secrets of the world.
Through rutabagas.
Through rutabagas.
But, actually, this is tough. My top is a toss-up. It has to be a toss-up.
All right, I think I know where you might be going. Let's hear it.
Because Life is Strange is clearly a fantastic story.
We've talked about that a lot.
We have mentioned it once or twice on this.
I mean,
we're probably talking about it like 90% of the time.
We're bordering on the fact of or on the point of sounding like a bunch of fanboys, but I would venture a guess that there's a lot of other gamers out there watching who have or whatever who have played this game and understand why we like it as much as we do.
Or if you're on the fence, now's your reason to play it.
Jump in.
Yeah,
if you manage to avoid that spoiler
fantastic.
too, I hope so. I mean, I gave you the warning, but man, jump in.
Yeah, so that's a great story, but also I've got to give kudos to Until Dawn, because that is a classic teen horror flick full of campiness.
Everybody makes the wrong decisions.
And kooky characters. You get to make the wrong decisions, Sean.
Even better.
and it's so self-aware because it knows that it's written like a campy teen horror flick, and it's totally okay with that. And it pokes fun at itself with all the character tropes that you might expect, and it was a lot of fun to play through.
Yeah, I'm not that far in Until Dawn, mostly because I'm a sissy and I can only play it in very small spurts.
Absolute darkness, Sean.
I was stupid because I'm not a brave man, at least not when it comes to horror movies. I mean, I see what you mean. Like, I'm enjoying that campiness, that cheesiness, that feel of watching Friday the 13th and going, don't go in there. You're going to go in there, aren't you? Yeah, you're going in
You're
there.
Totally going in
you're
there.
You're an idiot.
Don't take a flashlight. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't need that.
You won't need that flashlight.
Or the two teens having sex and nothing bad can
happen here. Yeah, and I like how it owns it. And again, I mean, I'm not that far in, but I can already see how it owns it. It completely just grasps onto it and goes, yeah, that's what a campy 80s horror flick is, and we're gonna roll with it, and I'm enjoying it. Tales from the Borderlands had some really great writing, and I mean, you're not looking for a hard-hitting story; it's pure comedy. It really is, and I mean, the interaction between all the characters, and I mean, I like the fact that we had some Patrick Warburton, and in the beginning, he's a little bit of a hero of mine. I've played through a lot of different stories this year, but there was nothing that when I got to the end of it that I had mixed feelings of like all sorts of emotions, and I could reflect back on every decision I made, everything throughout the whole game, and feel like every choice I made was impactful, and that I'd like to almost play through again and make those different choices just to see how the story ends up being a little bit more diverse. So, for me, storyteller, my best story still sticks. Life is Strange. Who are we missing? We're missing the Doge.
Well, I would say that, GTA 5 is always one that delivers great story, and there's just so much in GTA to interest you, and I think sometimes it's overlooked, but it was great this year. A runner-up for me, Her Story. It's a little indie game that maybe not a lot of people played, but it really kind of redefined how we tell stories, and I think it's one of those games that starts to make a good case for gaming as a kind of literature that can compete with traditional storytelling. The game is like essentially like you're given an interface as if you're sitting in the computer terminal of like a 1990s cop, and you've got to search a database of video clips, all that seem to be interviews of one woman in a murder case. And so you've got to use keyword searches, and then you get these clips that pull up. They don't pull up in any order. They pull up only in the order that you do your word searches. So you've got to piece together the story. Sometimes you might see a clip near from the end. Sorry, excuse me, somebody stepped on my tail. Hate it when it happens. Always when I'm making a great point, too. So you might see a clip from near the end of the story first, and then you might see one from near the beginning, and slowly you piece this story together in a really weird way, and it does start to come together, much like, say, a mosaic starts to come together into a big picture with little pieces. It's just an amazing, cool, new take on narrative in a really non-linear way, and I don't think it's the best story of the year, though. It's a close runner-up. I would say the best has still got to be Life is Strange, because that is just, the whole package is so well put together, and I love the time reversal element there. I love the way your choices matter in that game. I really thought hard about every choice I made, and when I made the choice, my heart didn't skip literally, but there's a little bit of tension there.
Well, how many times did you rewind, choose the other one? Rewind, go back. Rewind,
lot.
Choose the other one. Rewind,
Yeah.
think about it. Go back to your first choice.
Oh, totally.
I love the music when it's making you make this huge choice, and it's like,
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah,
like,
that choice. Yeah, like when you're stuck in that choice bubble, that sound. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think any of us are going to do a faithful job at trying to recreate
I'll
it.
cut it in right here.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. You just even that just adds to the tension too. Every choice matters.
Well, here's a great example. There was a moment where a friend of mine was being bullied by the security guard. I had a choice. I could either take a picture of the moment, or I could step in and try to help her. And actually, I actually chose the first time to take a picture. Why? Because I was actually a bit afraid to step in. Like, here I am playing a game, and I was actually afraid to take on a security guard who was not even a real person. And I felt like such an a-hole afterwards for taking a picture while my friend was being bullied. And so they allowed me to reverse time. But, like, I actually thought about that after I finished playing. I'm like, how could I have made that choice?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But you're basically playing like a 19-year-old girl, and I mean, I'm a damn near 40-year-old man, and I'm like, same thing, like you're so invested in that story at the moment, and you're like, well, what would I do? Oh my Jesus, I don't know.
That's the thing too, because we are not 18-year-old girls, but believe it or not, we are 3 grown men and a dog.
We are.
But they do such a great job of making that story relatable and making the feelings of the characters, Max and Chloe, primarily, feel real and feel like you can connect to that, and that's
and I mean, and let's not say too, like, I mean, despite the fact that we're playing, or you're taking the role of an 18-year-old girl, this story, I mean, again, I don't want to spoil it, but this takes a pretty dark turn. It is not it's not a kiddish game either.
No, it's very mature.
Big choices, very mature choices, and some really
it gets
really
dark,
crazy moments in that game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a stellar choice.
The exclusive.
Is a. We've got Everybody's Gone to the Rapture walking simulator. No, it's better than that. I'm being a smartass. Rise of the Tomb Raider. People are going to go, it's not an exclusive. Well, you know what?
Yeah,
It's
it
exclusive right now, so shut your mouths.
Shut it.
It won't be, but as of right now, if you wanted to play it in 2015, you played it on the Xbox One.
And you
Bloodborne
should.
for the PS4, obviously. Super Mario Maker for the Wii U. Finally, Nintendo making a showing on the exclusives category. That's actually a shame. Halo 5 Guardians for the X1. Splatoon. Oh, yeah, we already talked about Splatoon, so there you go. We had some Wii U games. Splatoon and Undertale for the PC. Wow, like an extreme
Diverse.
indie game making a nomination for the exclusive. I like that. Paul, why don't we start with you?
There's just something about a Mario game, isn't there?
Right.
Something about that feeling of bouncing on those Goombas and breaking those bricks, grabbing those mushrooms.
I've trounced a Goomba or two. in my
Everybody
lifetime.
has, and you loved it.
I did.
That's right.
It warms
What
the
if-
cockles of my heart.
What if I told you that you could do that forever?
What?
You could continuously jump on Goombas forever with an endless stream of Mario levels.
Wow.
You might
Super
have to
Mario
check me
Maker.
into a hospital, but okay.
Yes. Brain damage from hitting all those bricks. He uses his hand, though. It's not his head. It's his hand. He's
Yeah,
punching.
well, you know what? Back in the old pixelated days, it was his head. That's what it looked like.
His arm went up. It just wasn't very long. Anyways, Mario Maker is a fantastic game. It's the way to live out your dreams. So if you want to build, you want it to be half castle, half underwater, do it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a great game, but I don't think I'm going to go with that as my best exclusive. I'm going to go with Undertale.
That's
Ooh.
I'm going to go with Undertale.
What?
Are you doing it to be controversial? Or
No, I'm
you
not.
believe in it?
I'm not.
You shit disturber, you.
I am a shit disturber. That's true. But as much fun as I had with Mario Maker, I don't think I've played a game in a really long time that I had as big a grin on my face as when I was playing Undertale. It's not a long game, but it's just so weird and wacky and entertaining every step of the way, and the characters are awesome. The music is great. The style, it's a lot like Earthbound.
Oh,
If anybody remembers Earthbound.
Yeah. Who
But
doesn't remember? Okay, well, I mean, if you're an old ass gamer like us, who doesn't
Yep.
remember Earthbound? That's a
Oh,
great
yeah.
game.
It's a really great game, and there's only one place to play that, and That's with the PC Master Race.
He knows where his loyalties are.
No,
I might
Undertale.
call
It really
bullshit.
is the best exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some good choices on here, man. Everybody's gone to the Rapture. I made that joke about it being a walking simulator, and I mean, obviously, there was a lot of chatter about it being a walking simulator, but I think there's so much more to it than that. I mean, you've got this really neat sci-fi sort of mystery wrapped in there, and it's told so well. It is paced a bit slow, and I think a lot of people that probably threw a lot of people off, and that probably for that reason alone, it didn't get the appreciation it could have gotten. I think the Chinese Room did a great job on that game. The best exclusive, no, but I just wanted to make sure that I pointed out how good that game was. I might have to, man.
Got to settle on one, Sean.
I know, and that's the hard part, is because there's so many good games here. But I think I kind of got to settle with Bloodborne on this one. A lot of, every other game is good, but Bloodborne, you didn't see a bad review. I mean, apart from people who can't handle the genre, who don't want to invest the time in a painfully difficult game, you can dislike it. Well, no, but you can dislike it for that reason because it's just not your type of game. Yeah. But if you like that style of game, nobody disliked it. You know, the combat was on point. The creepiness was on point. For people who've gotten into the DLC, hell, we haven't even gotten our DLC on this, our DLC review on the site yet because our reviewer can't beat it. It's that goddamn hard. He actually dropped me a message, and it was just basically full of crying emojis because he just can't.
I'm sorry.
Well, it was tears.
Where's easy mode?
It was tears, and I can't even in all caps. That's where he's at. But I mean, all put together, it's probably one of the best experiences I had. When you're talking to one single exclusive, man, Bloodborne was badass.
You know what's great about Bloodborne is how it plays, because you have to be the most precise player to be successful in Bloodborne. You can't rush anything.
Patience.
You take that one errant swing, you're done.
Because I want to jump, I want to jump at a certain point and know that I can't. So yeah, I agree with you. It's very strategic. You have to be a patient person to succeed on Bloodborne. Trev,
I also really wanted to. Really wanted to vote for Bloodborne. But for me, it's just not my kind of game. And yeah, is it too punishing for me? Absolutely, it's way too punishing. But I can definitely appreciate what it is, and I do enjoy those games to a degree. But for me, Rise of the Tomb Raider gets my vote. I mean, there was a lot of complaints. There's not enough puzzles this time around. But I like the fact there was more fighting, more combat.
More tombs.
Laura's interesting. The story is gripping, and the amount of exploration turned a game that you could probably bang out in 10, 12 hours into something that's, a 30-hour experience just because of the amount of exploration. It's beautiful. It's imaginative. It's fun. It's brutal. It gets my exclusive of the year.
And Camilla Luddington.
Yeah.
Never stop talking.
Tomb Raider's interesting because it kind of straddles that line between being a linear game and being an open world game. Because there definitely are linear sections.
Yeah.
But there are these places where you can explore, and there's lots of, Metroid-style backtracking and things going on.
Traversing through all the environments and everything, that's another feeling that you're getting out of Rise of the Tomb Raider. I mean, they took what worked and they made it better. And that's a great choice, Trev. We haven't
the Doge.
We haven't heard from the Doge.
I think the measure of an exclusive is whether or not...
Well, the measure of an exclusive is whether or not it's available anywhere else.
Yes, for sure. Okay, so now that's established.
Specifics.
How good an exclusive is, you can tell by how much it makes somebody who doesn't have that console want to buy that console and wish they had that console.
Very good call.
You know what I mean? And so I think Rise of the Tomb Raider, for sure, as somebody who's mostly a PS4 guy, it makes me kind of jealous that for one of the first times I've ever been like, oh, actually, I wish I kind of had an Xbox One right now because I want to check that out. Or Splatoon was like that as well. Like Splatoon, I played that. I did, obviously not on Wii U in my home, but I played a lot at places like Best Buy and stuff like that. And security would eventually rush me out and tell me,
Tell me you are a dog.
Yeah. Well,
How did this dog get in here?
there's that, and then also you've been playing this game for like 8 hours, and we've got to close, and there's kids crying and stuff. And I played that a lot in other places, and I was really hooked on that game, and it actually made me consider buying a Wii U just for that game. And I think a lot of people did buy a Wii U basically just for that game.
It got a lot of buzz.
Yeah,
It
right?
did. I mean, it probably made some believers out of people who might have laughed at the console previously.
Yeah, right. But, I have to agree with Sean on this one. Bloodborne, I think that one made, especially when it first came out, Xbox One owners were just in agony. They wanted a PS4 so bad. They're hearing about how good Bloodborne was. They couldn't do anything about it. It just killed them inside, hearing all the great stories about Bloodborne and how awesome it was. And, I played Bloodborne, and I thought it was great. It was so difficult, punishing, but I loved it. I didn't get that far on it. But every moment was just so heart-stoppingly good, and
Yeah.
I was just never so alive in a video game, and kind of watching around me and all this
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So I think Bloodborne is the best exclusive this year for sure.
Some great choices. Now we get to move on to a category I've kind of been excited about.
The worst.
Just because, there's nothing more fun on the internet than shitting on somebody else's hard work.
Yeah,
So,
like literally.
literally, Doge.
In my case.
So we're looking at the worst game of the year, and
Which ones are in this category?
there's a unique list here. I think some games that maybe some people might not have heard about at all, but
are very,
we did have
very
some people
bad.
on the team who unfortunately did venture into these games and went,
I
Right.
think we covered all of those.
we
games.
did.
Pretty
So
sure.
our nominees for the worst: Hatred, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, The Order 1886, Calvino Noir, one of those games maybe not a lot of people had known about, Hateful Boyfriend, Cities XXL. I believe you reviewed that, didn't you, Paul?
Sure did.
Yeah, you didn't like it. Obviously, it's on the list.
Nope.
Afro Samurai 2, because Afro Samurai 1 just wasn't enough. And Goat Simulator. Let's move on to the Doge. Doge, what's your choice?
Well, I just want to say about Hatred. I don't know if it's such a horrible game. I mean, it's a shooter. You know what I mean? It's a game that I think in its basic mechanics is not that bad. I think it just is. It's kind of gotten such notoriety that we often call it one of the worst games of the year. So I might say that it's been a bit more overrated in how bad it is. I think I played a bit of Goat Simulator. I don't get that whole thing about how buggy games are supposed to be a hilarious kind of inside joke among these
Because you
fans.
just don't understand, Doge.
Yeah, I just don't get it.
Just don't get it,
You're
Doge.
not a
Yeah.
13-year-old YouTuber.
Exactly,
Doge.
right? So fine, I just don't get that whole kind of phenomenon in games. It's just a bad game. I would have to say though, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, it might have been pushed out for reasons behind closed doors that we may never know, but it was just a horrible train wreck of a game. I think everybody can agree with that one, and it just should have never seen the light of day, and it's the worst game of the
It
year.
hands down tarnished the franchise, or what was left of it.
That's right.
Trev.
Well, I know our very own Lucas, who reviewed Calvino. At least I'm pretty sure he reviewed Calvino Noir.
He did.
Yes, he did.
He didn't have very many kind things
No.
to say about it. So I can't comment on that one, but I'm sure Lucas would throw out a vote for Calvino Noir.
He'd throw it right under the bus.
He
I'm
sure
of
would.
it.
He'd draw and then back and forth over and over. I really wanted to vote for Tony Hawk because it's just so bad. But I think we beat up Tony Hawk pretty good on an earlier episode, so I won't.
We kind of dumped all over it already.
Yeah,
deservedly so, but we definitely dumped on it.
I won't pile on Tony Hawk any further. So my vote's going to Goat Simulator. I mean, I get it that, I've been criticized before. You don't understand it. It's supposed to be buggy and glitchy, but it's just such a broken, silly mess that I couldn't get past the bugs. And not only that, but it's just not that big of a game. Like, the areas you explore aren't that big. So aside from like taking your goat to a top of the tower and having it like tumble off, and that was funny. It's it's no better than a Halloween candy where you eat it and it's gone. It's just it's
a momentary.
It is,
and it's fleeting, and it's
exactly
not worth your time.
It's a cheap novelty item, and that's all it is. So Goat Simulator gets my worst game of 2015.
I'm looking at the nominees here, and I kind of went back and forth. And I mean, the obvious choice with Tony Hawk and stuff like that. I think, Doge, you made some pretty good points in regards to hatred, and I don't like what the game is about. I think the game itself is garbage, but it was riding that fine line of whether we censor games as an art form or we judge them as an art form. But in the end, mechanics aside, because the mechanics were basic, it was a simple game. It was a game that was sold on controversy alone, and it was kind of all said and done. The controversy was overblown, then the game was just shit. The game itself just didn't do anything to make itself stand out and go, yeah, well, there's more to it than just going on a murder spree. It was literally just going on a murder spree, and that it was just garbage. There was just nothing about it that stood out and made you feel like it was worth playing.
Mm-hmm.
So hatred is the worst.
Absolutely.
I agree with you.
Hatred is the worst. I hate hatred.
Hatred sucks.
Hatred
is the worst.
Hatred is the worst. I've reviewed Hatred.
I'm sorry.
Actually.
Oh,
and
my
it
condolences.
is a bad game.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it deserved really the adults only rating. Yeah, I mean, the game is about going on a shooting spree and literally killing everyone. But just because that happens in a suburban environment as opposed to a war zone, I don't think really that makes it.
But usually, like,
it's not more violent than any other, shooting game out there.
But with the war zone, do you not think though that at least there's a background tale behind it where it's like there's a reason you're at war. This is just an angry guy who wants to kill people.
Yeah, but is there a reason behind wanting to kill everyone in Hotline Miami?
Yes.
Revenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something like
Revenge.
Not in the first one.
A dish.
Isn't there? Oh, okay.
In the first one, he's just like a psychopath or something.
Basically.
He talks to a guy in a chicken mask.
Yeah, but it's it's like 8-bit, 16-bit, whatever. It's not the same.
All right.
But even beyond this controversy, Hatred is just a bad game.
Yeah.
Mechanically, it's a piece of crap. It doesn't control well. It's super glitchy. There's lots of points I found in the game where you just can't really advance because the game is broken.
Mm-hmm.
So I just have to go with Hatred for that reason. It is.
So
I
barring
have hatred for
controversy, just a shitty ass game.
Yeah, it's garbage.
That takes us to the end of episode 4. And we've only got one episode left after this, guys, where we move on to our best game. Boy, that's gonna be a hot and heavy conversation. It's there might be some fists. Think? Fists?
It's hard to believe. It was a few weeks ago we started doing these, and now we're almost done.
Yeah, it's been a long road.
Yeah. So tired.
And the entire time, the backdrop hasn't changed at all.
I haven't changed.
The only thing that's changed is my T-shirt a couple times.
Changed.
So we're gonna go over the best and our 2016 predictions, and that might be a bit of fun too. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with that. So thanks for watching, and make sure you tune in tomorrow when we touch on those and wrap our game of the year, year 1. Right? We're back. We're back next year. We're not gonna just do this once, right?
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
Well, yeah, it's just a game for this year. It's not all years.
That's right.
Right.
All right. So yeah, tune in tomorrow, and we'll see you then. Thanks, guys.
Peace out.
See ya.
See you later.